On today's Toy Spot, we're going to be having a look at the Mezco Cinema Fear, the 3 3/4 inch line. Today we're going to be looking at the Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger includes garbage can lid, removable hat, and display stand, or display base. Standard packaging packaging is the exact same on all three figures. And again, only 3 figures released in this entire line. Friday the 13th, we got Final Chapter Jason Voorhees, we've got Nightmare on Elm Street Freddy, and then finally the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Leatherface. The only other figure released was the 2009 Toy Fair exclusive of Jason Voorhees. Similar figure, just slightly lighter, and of course had the glow-in-the-dark mask. MezcoToys.com. Oh, I hate to sound like a broken record, because I know a lot of times when I do these reviews I do sound like a broken record, probably saying the same thing over and over again. But it pains me to see the fact that you had such a potentially incredible line of figures that you could have done, and they stopped with only these 3 figures. So what we'll do is we'll get the package opened up here on Freddy, and we will have a better look at Freddy Krueger from the 3 3/4 inch line of Cinema Fear. And once again, I've got Freddy standing on his display stand. Take him off. Different splatter once again. Prime opportunity. Here I go, sound like a broken record again. Prime opportunity to put the logo of A Nightmare on Elm Street actually on here, but they didn't. They just put blood splatter, which still works. I mean, I could have gone even with a basic black stand if it meant getting more of these guys. Just put that aside. The other accessory that he does come with is his garbage can. Which you can't really put in his hand. He just does not hold it. So it just you can kind of just lay it next to the display stand if you really wanted to. So let's have a look at Freddy. Something I actually didn't do with the other 2 figures that I did when I did these reviews is I'll actually bring in the larger namesake, the larger Freddy. As you can see, I've got the shirt swapped out here. The larger Freddy from the Mezco Cinema Fear. Not quite the same face. It is, well, you know what, maybe it is the exact same face. It's just the fact that it's this different paint job. It also looked like they have used, you know what, they might have even used most of the body. Of course, swapping out like the articulated legs for the 6-inch figure, which didn't actually have that. So sad. So we'll just move Freddy out of the way here. Look at the smaller mini Freddy. Now the hat is removable, and you get a nice detailing of the Freddy figure. I mean, for scale-wise, they still nicely painted it. It doesn't look sloppy or anything like that. Of course, I prefer the Freddy with his hat on. Same thing with the larger Freddy. When I did the review of the 6-inch Freddy, the Freddy figure does seem stumpy. Kind of seems a little shorter. And when I was leading up to watch the remake of the Nightmare on Elm Street, I went back through and I actually watched, if you could believe it, in 2 days. I think I watched all of the Nightmare on Elm Streets. And, you know, I will say, though, in the first Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy actually does seem shorter, so you chalk it up to the fact he's hunched over and everything else, but the figure does look right. It doesn't look too bad. The one glaring problem I have with this figure, if anything, is the fact that his colors are kind of mismatched. His sleeves, if you notice, one sleeve is darker versus the lighter sleeve on the other side. Both lower sleeves are lighter than the mid-torso. The coloring is a little off. I mean, that's the only thing I could say bad about the figure. Had the entire figure been like this color here, would have looked really, really nice. Instead, it kind of just looks really washed out in the torso here. In the way of his articulation, he has a ball-jointed head, and he has ball-jointed shoulders. It's not quite a ball joint, because when you get it up to, when you extend his arms out, you can't move them back and forth very easily. But he has a rotation in the forearm. You can also bend the elbow. You can rotate the hand. You can rotate the waist ever so slightly, not really as much as the Jason, but you can bend the legs out, back and forth, in and out. Bend the knee, and you can also bend the foot, which actually is a bit stiff on this figure. Also because of the sculpt on the lower legs too, probably makes sense as to why you can't bend them too much. I mean, I still think of the three, the Jason is still the standout character to get. He is just amazing. He is just amazing. The Freddy, though, I would still say is my second favorite. And then the Leatherface is probably, well, process of elimination, he would be my third favorite. I'll say it one more time. Also, is the last time I'm reviewing these two, but if only they had done more, they could have given us a Freddy from all the different Nightmare on Elm Streets, and really, really continued the line going. Make this retail. Personally, I think you would have had an instant hit. And unfortunately, they stopped the line, and getting these three figures, you're gonna have yourself the entire set. Sad, but great figures to get up, to pick up. You can find them, grab them. You might have to go on eBay to find them. And unfortunately, because the wave is so limited and small in size, the figures themselves might be a little bit more expensive to pick up. But if you can find them, definitely get them. And if anything, I have to bring him in. If anything, definitely pick up this guy here, the Part 4 Jason. He is the figure to get in this set. While I gave the Jason a 10, I'm going to give Freddy here, I'm going to give him a 7.5. He's not one of my favorite looking Freddys anyways, so the fact that they scaled down my least favorite Freddy, or one of my least favorite Freddys, to a smaller scale, I think that's really what does this figure in. But still a great figure to pick up. That was a Toy Spot. Today we were looking at the Mezco Cinema Fear, the 3 3/4 inch figures. Today we were looking at this guy, Freddy Krueger. And with that, I will see you guys next time.